This is almost the whole full week after we all have heard about the disappearance of Mr. Sombath Somphone, who actually being known by many of us as I Sombath or the brother Sombath, as a senior friends and committed social and education NGO workers in Laos. And as most of us know, Mr. Sombath is also the recipient of the 1995 Ramon Magsaysay Award. So Sombath is the founder of the organization called Participatory Development Training Center or PADEC in short, and this is one of the oldest development center and also the youth center in Laos PDR. I would like to kind of review this situation a little bit. Sombath has disappeared from Vientiane, Vientiane municipality on a Saturday of 15 December. And it was known by the picture that we all saw in the camera that put in that intersection that he parked his car, that he was stopped by the street policeman, and then he went out from his jeep to the police outpost. Then someone arrived by motorcycle, parked it near his jeep, then took his went to the outpost, took his key, and then came back to the jeep and drove the jeep away. So maybe I can just show this now. This is the spot that reported. I mean, this is the police outpost. This is in the road called Tha Dua Road, which is very close to the river. And this is right only very close to the intersection. Next, please. And that's pictures from the CCTV, that camera, that police stopped him and talked to Sombath. And then, yes, he got off the car. The man in black arrived on the motorbike, parked it close to his car, and rushing into the outpost. Came out, suppose maybe he with the key, and then drove his car away. And then there was a person on guard waiting or giving the signal probably to the car, and then soon after that pickup car arrived, and Sombath was taken into the car, and the car drove away. So today we are very happy and honored that we are able to have the group of, we have to say, the senior person from the Thai society.
Now it has already 5 days that he was disappeared, and according to the law and international law on the human rights, enforced disappearance is considered as a crime or international crimes. And is it the obligation of the government of Laos PDR have to solve this problem by bringing him back and bring the kidnapper or the offenders to justice. This is not only the obligation under the law, but under the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights and the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration, which Laos PDR is one of the members of the ASEAN and recognize the declaration. According to the international law, enforced disappearance is very serious crime. Even in some extent is more serious than murder, because a person, if being murdered, the relatives or the family can bring their body for religious ceremony and can make up their mind just to follow the state to bring the offenders to justice. But the one who was enforced disappearance, the family now, for example, that his wife still very worried about the fate of Mr. Sombath. Will he will be tortured, or he die, or still alive, or not? And they cannot sleep, I believe. So I would like to demand the government of Lao PDR to seriously take action on this. Otherwise, it may be seen that the government of Lao PDR participated to this crime. And it will, personally, when I heard about this, I recall my activities and many activities of many friends here when we were students, that we fight for the people of Indochina during the Indochina war. That will be destroy my good feeling that I try to keep it, to what the government of Lao PDR. Thank you.
Well, in case of Sombath happened in the circumstance, I don't know exactly what happened. It is perhaps, for me as a journalist, I cannot make it clear that whether he was kidnapped, whether he was arrested, or but look at what we see in the video clips from the CCTVs. Maybe that circumstance that happens is the belief that the state apparatus, state agency, or whatsoever it will be involved, or at least it's happened under the eye or under the nose of the official. It's very strange. I mean, to every country like this, to say that the person who were taken away near a police outpost, and the authorities say that we don't know about that. It's very strange, but it happened in that countries. So I think it is maybe it's very difficult to rule out that the state apparatus, state authority did not know, did not involve in that situation, in that circumstance. Sombath's background and his work trying to create this, I think, from the view, is uncomfortable situation for the officials and the authorities in Vientiane, particularly the elite, the conservative elite in the parties. It might be feel uncomfortable with his job, right, trainings, or his background to associate with the United States. But given to the fact that I think this relation between Vientiane and Washington is will get very well, it's go very well. So one accusation made in Vientiane currently say that perhaps his connection to the U.S. might be lead to his disappearance. I don't buy this theory, but Saudi, the other job, his training, and he involved in many development or criticized many developments of the Laos projects might be create difficulty for him. The point I want to make in conclusion that I think fine if Sombath did something wrong under the law of the country. Of course, I'm not a journalist who always dedicate for human rights. I don't mind if some person did something wrong and he was arrested. But in case of Sombath, I think if he did something wrong, the state authorities shall openly prosecute him, charge him, or whatsoever in a civilized manner. So the way that whoever handles Sombath in that way, I think is very uncivilized. And it is for Laos, the country who now open and more open to global village, international community, also Laos a member of all things. Laos just hold the ASEAN meetings, the big ever that country has ever deal with. Laos used to be the chairman of ASEAN. Laos, whatever the international take place, also Laos involved. I think this is time in 21st century that this country has to have a new practice for whatever you think the problem in the country, which should be dealt in civilized manner, and perhaps this new world that we account to the rule of law is the main principle that we can say. Thank you.
This case of disappearance of Mr. Sombath is as you notice, is quite disturbing to many Thais, because we are beginning to build a network of people-to-people organizations throughout the region, with the growing, very fast-growing international investment of capital in this area. Laos has been turned into a, what we call they call themselves the battery of south of the region. In fact, the Lao government, after years of isolation, has opened itself to be more or less almost raped by Thai capital and Chinese capital and foreign capital, unhindered. The people in Laos are not protected from this invasion, what we call the second invasion. The first invasion of Laos was that during the Vietnam War, whereby the country was bombed more than any country in the world, in history of the world. I think there were more bombs dropped on Laos than anywhere else in the world. So it caused a very sensitive issue here in Thailand when something like this happens, because many of the Thai progressive society here, the circles of NGOs, of civil society here, are very sympathetic to the Lao government and very sympathetic to their hard-won freedom from Thai intervention in the past. Now we have this second invasion. So what happens into Laos affects us here. For instance, all the dams that being built in Laos, most of them are being built by international capital, World Bank money, and the Thai consume all the energy comes from Laos. The destruction of Laos has been incredible, has been so scary that we just hope that any organization that is allowed to check on this, to be critical of this, is so much welcome here in Thailand. What I'm trying to say is that even in spite of the freedom that we have here in Thailand, supposed freedom here in Thailand, disturbing fact of human rights violation continues to happen. And one major source of this violation happens is commercialization of natural resources. Commercialization and destruction, followed by destruction of natural resources. An increasingly disturbing thing is that capitals via Thailand wants these countries that have no rights at all. They want to go in and able to build dams, take over people's land, build plantations, denude all the forests, and commercialize the land. This is one of the, I believe, a very disturbing cause of human rights violation that's going on in our region. So in the name of all my friends, Thai friends here, that the Lao government should be responsible in answering all our questions over the disappearance of Mr. Sombath. Thank you.
Sombath and I also work in Bhutan, organizing alternative education. Indeed, I have known Sombath since he was a student in Hawaii. And in those days when Laos changed the end of the monarchy, when they embraced socialism, most Laotians left the country if they could. But Sombath decided to return to his country. And I think he's a wonderful person, very brave. He wants to serve his country. And he has been doing so ever since. Bravely, skillfully, humbly. And I have known him all through these years with much admiration. And I still support Laos. And if I may say so, I don't like when people say Laos is uncivilized. Laos is as civilized as this country, or indeed even more civilized. We must not use the Thai yardstick to measure Laos. I think if we want to do something with Lao government, we should be skillful and not denounce them. So I think if we want to be skillful, to get Sombath released, to be free, we should take the Lao government as our good friends, honor them, understand them that they have difficulties. So I think if the news come out from here that the Thai are not condemning the Lao government, the Thais, however concerned we are, we respect the Lao government. And we hope the Lao government will do everything they can to make sure that Sombath is a free person soon, because that will give Lao great credit, since we are now very serious about ASEAN. But people think of ASEAN in terms of money, economy. But the essence of ASEAN is human dignities, human rights. And deep down, Laos has that. Despite the fact that there is a communist country, Laos is the only communist country which honor Buddhism, honor the Sangha. And I think Laos would be have much reputation sharing with their neighbors that they care for human rights, they care for the safety of the people. And Sombath happened to be one who is very well known to us, well known not only among those who received the Magsaysay Award, is well known throughout the world. It would be a great pity if he disappear. It would be so much damage to Lao government. Thank you.
I would like to thank you to our panelists here, our 4 panelists here, and I understand that many of the journalists might like to interview them after this, so please do so. Thank you very much.